Cause now it is my turn. Just want what you are.
Welcome back. Still Rubbin Minds, and this time moving straight into a more commercial topic. This is the business of entertainment. Is their business? Do we get carried away what we see? Is everything what it is? Can an artist actually survive on their songs? The flashy lifestyle, is it sustainable? Some of the top questions on the minds of a lot of people. We have Sam here, the managing director of Trace TV. Great to have you on board, Sam.
Great to see you, Oscar.
And it's one of those questions that, whether you're in the industry or outside the industry, it's a recurring question as to how we can be like other industries. Royalties, Hollywood, you know, can an artist survive strictly on just writing songs? All these things come together. The flip side of that is you have people who are in the clubs, popping champagne, living the life. And deep down, you're like, maybe that's not really how they make their money. So let's kick off with the highs and lows of the business in entertainment. Is there a business in entertainment?
Well, thank you, first of all, for having me on the show.
Yeah, great.
And absolutely. Look, I'm a huge proponent of the entertainment space, whether it's music, movies, TV, and the fact is, clearly, there's nobody in Nigeria who will say that we haven't seen a real incredible vibration from this whole sector over the last few years. And there is a fundamental foundation for it. It is real business. You know, when we compare, the music business globally is over $14 billion annually. It's not the biggest industry in the world, but that's no chump change. The movie business, you know, is almost 3 times that. And as for another reason, apart from the fundamental cash, I think one of the key things is that when you have an inspired generation, that we just heard our brother Chude talking, when you have a generation that are re-inspired and re-energized to believe that there's hope for them, there's things for them to do with their talents, I think that's also a critical currency that we can't ignore as a country.
I mean, look at during the Music Week Africa in 2016, the projection was made that by 2019 the market's projected to grow in size with total revenue of 8.1 billion, in the excess of that. Now, a lot of things I've come across is the figures are being thrown around. People are seeing it, are feeling it, but when it comes to the fact that I'm a Nigerian out there, I'm a student, I want to, for example, write music for Davido or Wizkid or whatever, there's always that question of the structure. And without structure, it's not scalable. And if it's not scalable, you can't really make money. So what's your take on the scalability of the business?
Sure. Well, I think there are 2 sides to the structure question. One is for the businesses currently running, right? Literally, whether it's the record labels, PR companies, you know, management companies, etc., and how they are running themselves as businesses. Any business that's a registered business should have their accounts. They should be taking care of their taxes, and sometimes that looks like the last thing on the list that you want to look at. But you cannot scale your business without that. You can get to a certain stage, but if you're counting all of the revenue in your head or scratching it on a piece of paper, you're not sure where it is. Good luck, you know. Good luck, good luck, because that money will be going everywhere and anywhere.
Now, you experienced in Nigeria with Trace. Now we know Trace is in other francophone countries and outside.
Sure.
When you look at the way business is done in all these other countries where your company is, and in Nigeria, is there such a huge difference? No.
I'm not saying this is a Nigeria thing. Definitely for a young African population, we're as reckless, let's call it, as young populations around the world. It's sometimes, you know, and you'll hear this not only in music, but in entertainment, but in many sectors, right? Where people start a business and they say, wait, have you even made a plan? Have you even studied what you're going to do? So in that same way, sometimes people see an opportunity, jump into it without saying, okay, look, let me make sure I'm running this as an organization. That's what I'm saying. It's not Nigeria's worse than the rest. Trace is in 180 countries by way of broadcast through 80 different licenses and license agreements. And you know, for the most part, we are dealing, you know, with a young audience, and we see the challenges across the board. So it's a matter of general education, capacity development, and being happy.
What do you think is the greatest problem, based on your experience and what you've seen in Nigeria, with respect to the business and entertainment. You have artists who start as a group and they break off. You have those who, once they break off further. And then you have those living down. And they break down. You have those living above, obviously, their means. They can't sustain it. There are even rumors. I mean, the backdoor gist is a lot of them have their fingers in other pies. Let's just put it that way.
Sure.
So the facade and what they project is not what it is. What do you say to address this particular perception of the industry?
Well, that's a difficult one because there's some validity to those questions. You know, if you look at the music business 50 years ago, both in Nigeria or abroad, right? There's always been some element of looking glamorous and so on. I mean, it's part of the getup. If you're going to sit, if your job is not, you know, writing a legal opinion or counting the numbers, your job is standing in front of people and entertaining them. You gotta look flashy, right? But you also find that I think in the last 10 years, with the advent of digital technology, social media, you know, when we see other people's lives in the most designed way, and we all want to follow it, that only has upped the ante. So it's a little bit insane, if I might put it that way.
I'll need to go on a quick break. Now, in any business structure, there are rules and regulations, but the question is enforcement. We'll take a look at royalties, the legal system, and whether or not it supports the entertainment industry here. Stick around right here on Rubbin Minds.